Have you ever felt like your kindness was being used against you? Like the more you gave, the more people expected until you had nothing left for yourself? I've been there. I used to believe that being kind was always the right thing, that saying yes, staying generous, always showing up, that this was the mark of a good person, and maybe you believe that too. After all, isn't kindness one of humanity's greatest virtues? But here's a hard truth no one tells you. Kindness, when left unchecked, becomes a quiet form of self-betrayal. It starts subtly, a few sacrifices here, a few swallowed boundaries there, and before you realize it, you're not being kind out of love anymore. You're being kind out of habit, fear, or guilt. This isn't stoicism, this isn't strength, and this is the exact moment where we must stop and ask ourselves, when does kindness cease to be a virtue and start becoming a vice? In today's reflection, I'll walk with you through this uncomfortable but essential terrain. We'll look at what the Stoics taught us about true kindness, the kind that honors both others and ourselves, the kind that requires wisdom, self-respect, and boundaries. Because sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is to say no. Kindness, virtue or vice? Kindness is often hailed as one of the highest virtues, a shining beacon of our humanity that binds us together. And yes, it's a beautiful quality that fosters goodness and harmony in society. But I must ask, can even this noble light burn too brightly? Can a virtue taken to the extreme turn into a vice? Let me share a truth I've learned. In excess, kindness can indeed become a vice. Being too kind can ruin you. Not because kindness itself is bad, but because unguarded, unchecked generosity leads to imbalance and self-neglect. As Stoics, we learn to balance all things, kindness included. Picture this: a man spends his days giving and sacrificing, constantly serving others' needs, often at the cost of his own well-being. His heart is generous, his spirit noble. Yet over time, he begins to feel hollow and depleted, like a well-drained dry under the desert sun. Why? Because in his relentless quest to be kind to everyone else, he forgot the most crucial form of kindness, kindness to himself. Without kindness toward yourself, even the purest intentions can become burdens, and yesterday's virtues can turn into today's vices. Remember to be kind to yourself. A person holds a heart close to their chest, symbolizing self-love as the foundation of all kindness. True kindness must include oneself. It might sound counterintuitive, but sometimes placing limits on your kindness is the most compassionate thing you can do for everyone involved. Think of the emergency instruction on an airplane. Secure your own oxygen mask before helping someone else. If you suffocate by neglecting yourself, how can you help anyone else? Stoics hold that kindness is virtuous only when guided by reason, and they take care not to deplete their own wellspring of energy. In short, any kindness you give shouldn't come at the expense of the kindness you owe yourself. Learn to give from your well, not until it runs dry. This means sometimes saying no without guilt. A person who gives without measure will eventually give beyond their capacity, harming themselves and helping no one. By being kind to yourself, you ensure that your generosity toward others remains sustainable and sincere. Guarding against exploitation. Being overly kind can also make you vulnerable to those who would exploit your goodness. In a world that is not always just, some will see unguarded generosity as weakness. They will take and take until there's nothing left of you. How do we prevent our kindness from becoming a doorway to suffering? We must temper kindness with wisdom and boundaries. Heed the words of Marcus Aurelius. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Apply this wisdom to your generosity as well. If being kind in a given situation hurts you, then it is not right. If your kindness enables the unworthy or feeds a lie, then it isn't true kindness. Sometimes the most virtuous thing you can do is say, enough. Setting boundaries isn't unkind. It's often the wisest kindness of all. The cost of losing yourself. When you bend over backwards to be kind at the expense of your own needs, you risk losing your sense of self. You may start living for others' approval and comfort, neglecting your own peace of mind. Epictetus reminds us that we control our own mind and choices, not the demands of others. If you let others' needs dictate your life, you give up the only power you truly have, power over your own mind and decisions. Ask yourself, if you constantly bow to everyone's demands, what remains of you? Endless accommodation is not strength. True strength lies in knowing when to stand firm, when to protect your own peace, and when to reserve your kindness for those who truly deserve it. Being kind should never mean making yourself a martyr to others' desires. It should not mean sacrificing your dignity or peace for someone else's comfort. Real kindness, guided by reason, respects both the giver and the receiver. The Stoic path of wise kindness. So remember, be kind, but not at the expense of your own well-being. Be generous, but not to the point of exhaustion. Love others, but do not forget to love yourself. A life lived in balance, a life governed by wisdom, is the only life truly worth living. In the end, kindness without wisdom is like a ship without a compass, drifting aimlessly and doomed to sink. Guard your heart, strengthen your mind, and let your kindness be measured, deliberate, and unshakable. That is the path of the Stoic. Thank you for watching. If this reflection resonated with you, please subscribe for more Stoic insights. Share your thoughts in the comments and consider sharing this video with others who might benefit. Until next time, take care and see you in the next video.